All right, once again, welcome everyone. Uh, this event is going to be regarding elevator pitch, what the elevator pitch is, how to make one, and how to make it better if you already have one. So let's get started. All right, so like I said, we're going to go over what's an elevator pitch, why it's important, tips on how to get started for your own. Right. So picture this. Let's say you go to a career fair, just like the one here at NJIT, or you go to the National Career Fair, or you go to our ODC, which is upcoming, right? And you spend hours preparing yourself. You wear the fancy suit, right? $500 suits, whatever. You have your resume top notch, thanks to chef tips and tricks. You done your due diligence, research the company, know everything about them, and then you wait those 30 minutes in line to talk to the recruiter. And then you get there, and they ask you, and they say, "Tell me about yourself." Now, what the hell are you gonna do, right? So this is why the elevator pitch is important. An elevator pitch is a carefully planned and concise introductory message about your professional self. It defines your skills, experience, and what you want from the career, right? And because it's a summary, and you don't have that much time with the recruiter, it should only take about 60 seconds to deliver. And this is why it should be really focused on specific and unique attributes about about yourself and what you can offer to the recruiter and his or her organization. It's important because you never know when you might meet someone who can be a great networking contact, right? You can meet people walking your dog in the park. You can meet someone on the elevator, which has happened before. You can meet someone at school. You never know. So having this elevator pitch ready to go, it's the best option you have. So when do you use it? Use in career fairs, as I mentioned. Use in networking events such as alumni meetings or professional organization events, such as the one we host. Use it during company information sessions. GDS does a lot of those. Use it during interviews and pretty much any professional event where you need to introduce yourself to someone that you never met, right? So preparing your elevator pitch. So first thing you need to do is think and take some time for a self-reflection. Think about yourself, think about your skills and experiences, and think what's the best you can offer to an employer or to a company, right? And while thinking about this, you should consider the following: your skills. This includes technical and non-technical skills. We have gone over this in our resume workshop. Your strengths, what you're strong at. It could be, once again, technical or non-technical. Your personal qualities, which is things like hard worker, uh, team player, etc. Your accomplishments can be professional or outside school accomplishments. Your values, right? Values that represent yourself. Your career goals is important because let's say you're looking for an internship, but the employer is looking for a full time. You don't want to waste each other's time. You also want to somehow show your academic performance so they know you're a good student and therefore you'll be a good employee. And finally, activities. Consider these things. You should also know your audience, right? So do your due diligence and research your audience. This can be either the company, the contact that you're meeting, or the event, but just research so you can customize your elevator pitch to the specific person. And it can be more personal and just form a better connection when you're saying it, right? And while thinking about this, you should ask yourself, what are the needs of the employer in a potential candidate? It's important because you want to fit what the employer is looking for. If you don't fit what they're looking for, then they're just not going to talk to you. They're just going to find someone that will. You should also ask yourself, what immediate benefits can you provide to the employer? If they want a back-end developer and you can't do back-end developer, then they're just going to move on, right? What interests you about the company or industry and why? They usually ask why this company or they usually ask why this industry. And that's because they not only do they want to know that you're a good fit, but they also want to know that you have passion to be in that field and to be in that company. And finally, you should think about how your skills and experiences align with the needs of the audience. Here's some guidelines on for your elevator pitch and how to get started. So first, start it with something that grabs the attention and builds up on it. like a common problem in your industry that everyone is familiar with, right? Let's say with supply chain, a common problem in supply chain is if something breaks at one place, it can mess up everything before it and after it. Something that really grabs attention and is common to everyone. Uh, you should have something that sparks curiosity by saying that you solve this attention grabber in one way or another. It can be in a personal project during class, but something that shows that you have curiosity to solve problems, right? Your elevator pitch should also say who you are and what you do. It can be if you guys attend our LinkedIn workshop, it can be like the summary section, right? It's like, hey, I'm a student, I'm a computer engineer major, go to NJT, so and so on, right? So something what you do and who you are. You should explain how you do things and what the results are of things you do. Let's say you're working on a personal project. Let's say you're building a drone, and that really relates to the company you're talking to. You can say, I'm currently building a drone, and this helping me learn about electronics, microcontrollers, and coding, right? What you do and the results and how that affects you in a positive way. You should also be ready to answer questions because after your elevator pitch, if you interest them, then they're gonna keep going on the conversation. So be ready to keep it going. Be ready to go deeper into these topics you talked about in your elevator pitch. Also, always have a business card at hand. Your business card should include your name, the school you attend, where you're from, your a QR code or a link to your LinkedIn, right? Just things, places where they can contact you and links to where they can find you. This is amazing. I really missed having this at the National Career Fair because I can just pull out a business card and be like, here, add me in all my places. You're good to go. And boom, you both go your separate ways. And finally, don't be upset if your elevator pitch doesn't get what you want. We say a lot, you're not going to get a job on the first try. So keep on trying, keep on networking, keep on finding new people, keep on selling, modifying your speech for different people. Just keep on going, you definitely find something. So now let's get into the writing process. So remember that at the beginning, you need a self-reflection. You can do this by writing all your ideas, right? Everything that comes up to your head, regardless of how long it is. Just write it all down, or type it all down. Now, it doesn't have to be writing. Then get rid of unnecessary details. Let's say that I'm building a drone at my house, right? You don't need to specify that it's at your house because they don't care. It can be at your grandma's house, it can be at school, it can be part of your club. They don't care where you build it as long as you are building it. So remove any unnecessary details. It just makes it extra lengthy, and time is what you don't have. Remove any confusing or unfamiliar industry jargons. Basically, any abbreviations too, right? Don't assume that the other person knows everything you do. That's why we say don't put SHPE on the resume, just like that SHPE. You have to put the full thing, like Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, right? Because never assume that everyone knows everything. So always jot everything down clearly so that the average person in the field can understand. Connect phrases to another so your elevator pitch flows naturally, right? So don't start by saying, hey, my name is Juan, I'm building a drone, right? Don't say that. The two things have no connections to it, right? Say your name, where you're from, what you do, what you're looking for, and then mention other things. But make sure they has flow to it, a consistent flow that they can follow and see your progress, right? Then you should, after this is done, you should review it and ask, what's in it for the listener, right? Why should they hire me? So after you say out loud, pretend you're in the other side and see if like if you will be interested in hiring yourself. That's a good way of testing whether you'll be a good candidate and whether the other person will be interested in you as a candidate. And finally, after doing this exercise, polish it and hit your target word count. As we said, try to keep it under 60 seconds because it's when you first meet someone. So it's nice and short. You probably won't have a lot of time to keep it nice and short and just the top information that you have. In other words, you should ask, what, right? Your elevator pitch should answer what, meaning who you are and what you do, why, which is why you do it and what is your passion, and how, which is how you do it. If you answer these three things in your elevator pitch, it will be a successful elevator pitch, a great elevator pitch. So make sure you answer these three questions. There are other questions to consider. Uh, what is your career goal? Right? You can state this in the form of doing something for someone. Some people are just in it for the money. Some people are in it because they want to improve their community in a way. Some people are in it because they want to be the next great inventor. Make sure you state this directly or indirectly, since uh it can spark your curiosity to the recruiter. It shows your recruiter that you're curious and that you have a passion in this field for something bigger than what it is, right? You should also, like I said, mention your skills, strengths, and experiences. It's really important. This is what they look for. They want someone that's strong. They want someone that has good skills and that can be a good person for the company. And it should also answer what are your accomplishments and what are things that you have done to prove that you have these skills and these strengths. These are like the projects or internships or campus activities. Other things is what are you searching in for a job? As I mentioned before, you can add there you're looking for an internship, you're looking for a co-op, you're looking for a place with great culture, you're looking for a place where like it's really easy to move around between roles. Try to mention this in your elevator pitch. It just gives them a greater scope of what you're looking for and if you are a good fit for them. And also, how can you immediately benefit the company? This can be with the due diligence, as I mentioned, right? Let's say a company that you're working for just signed a deal to start developing drones or want to make drones in the future, and you just build the drone. You can bring this up and say that thanks to your drone experience, you can provide instant benefit to the company in their future goals, right? Finally, if you get stuck, you can go to our chef.njt.edu website and find the key tips on how to build your blueprint to success. We talked about all this stuff already in more details in 2 presentations ago. So go to our website and you can find more info about these questions to consider. Now let's get to how to deliver your pitch. You should first time it. At the beginning, I said 60 seconds, but really 30 seconds is the prime time. That's when you should really mention the most important information because that's when they are going to have their most attention given to you. 30 seconds is a prime time. So prior to giving your pitch, present it to friends, family, co-workers, and time yourself, right? Present it to people so that you don't get nervous in front of a recruiter and so that you know how things are going to flow and so on. And also you can get feedback from them, you know. Also practice it. Practice it, like I said, with friends, family, practice it in the mirror. Listen to it, record yourself, listen to it, you know, anything you can to modify it and to keep upgrading it. You should speak clearly, right? I know with the masks now it's hard. But speak clearly. You don't want the recruiter asking you, what did you just say? You want them understanding you and get straight to the point. Also be conversational. Don't be like a robot. Don't go out there reciting your elevator pitch word for word sounding like a robot, right? Make it sound like a conversation because a good salesperson never sounds like they're selling something, but they sound like they're having a conversation with prospects as if they were good friends. So try to look at the recruiter as your friend and try to just make it a conversation. That personally, that's what I do. I don't really have a brain elevator pitch. I have a format for my elevator pitch. And before I talk to the company, I fill in the details of this format and then I just go out and talk to them as a conversation. So I don't formally have a brain one. And I found that this works for me. This method of just going up to them and mentioning the key points in a conversation matter works great for me. So if that works for you, that's great. But if you need extra help, just jot it all down, but just don't make it sound like a robot, right? You should try to smile and let that you're passionate, right? If you go up to them with a dead face, with a resting B face, they're not going to hire you. They're just going to think you don't like them. They don't like you, you know, you don't like them. It's like, why should I hire this guy when he looks at me like that, you know? So just go smiling, show that you want to be there. You most likely do because they will be paying you big bucks at the end. So you smile and show your passion. And finally, like I said, always keep testing and tweaking it. There's always someone you can ask which has a different point of view that you never consider. So make sure you're always testing, practicing, and tweaking it to make it better. Right, here's some sample language to go over. So an example for an elevator pitch. Let me recite it. My name is, right? So my name is Juan Camacho. I'm a student at NJIT, pursuing a degree and majoring in computer engineering. My experience, I've been part of the robotics club where I develop drones for national competitions. I'm a team worker and I'm really responsible person, which I demonstrate when I have projects to do and have to collaborate with other peers. I'm looking for a position where I can demonstrate my skill and show my deep understanding for coding and hardware. I feel I could immediately benefit your company by improving your current projects on the drone industry since it combines coding and hardware. And you see, I just made that up. It sounded all right, but I just made that up, and that's usually how I go. I don't have anything jotted down. But this is a sample language. This is a great format to use at first, and then you can modify as you go. Some additional tips, like I said, first write it down and practice it. Uh, Also ask feedback from people. There's a ton of resources out there. There's your friends, mentors, CDS, a great and underestimated resource. So ask people and always practice in it. Like I said, don't make it sound like a robot. Don't say it word for word, but instead make it sound like a conversation, right? And finally, record it and hear yourself and pretend like you're a recruiter and whether you hire yourself, right? Always keep practicing it, listening to it, and making sure it's top notch. Finally, here are some upcoming dates for our next events. So Friday, we have our general body meeting. Here's where you can find out more for like about SHPE. You can get to know us better, and you can find out about our next and upcoming events after that. Friday, we have our career fair prep. Since the NJT career fair is coming up, right? It's a really great opportunity. So I urge you guys to go ahead to the CDS website and sign up for it and sign up for all the available sessions. Even if you're a freshman, go ahead. It's a great practice. And if you're not a freshman, go ahead and try to get a job if you haven't so already. Monday, we're going to have posted as the chef. So we're going to be at Campus Center. We're going to have a table there, and we're going to be selling strawberry shortcake. Steven's mom makes it, and it's pretty good, guys. I'm telling you, it's pretty good. Steven's mom is great, so you should definitely come and try it out. And the next Wednesday after that, we're going to have resume review. So if you haven't seen if you didn't attend our resume event on how to make your resume, we're going to have the link on that on the chat. But on that day, we're going to review the resumes you made and give you tips and tricks on how to improve it. And finally, that QR code is for the PDF of these slides. If you want to keep it and look at it and go back to that sample I showed you. All right, that's all, guys. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Juan, for the presentation. Real quick run through. So that GBM on Friday is part of our career fair prep. Alongside with that, at the end, we host the GBM side of things is really just a chance to keep you guys up to date in regards to what we're doing at NJIT SHPE. Aside from that, this video will hopefully be uploaded on YouTube soon. I have uploaded the last video I've uploaded was the LinkedIn workshop. If you guys join our Discord, I'll try to get a link in the chat right now. You guys can go to the announcements channel, and then there is where we have a lot of our uploaded material. So we have the resume workshop as well as the LinkedIn workshop, and then soon after I'll try to get the, which one was the one before this one? The one before this one was LinkedIn? Yeah. So I'll try to get this one as soon as possible, as soon as I get the recording. But other than that, I strongly urge you guys to come out to resume review. We're going to be having lots of companies from UPS to Turner come out. Schneider Electric, I think, is going to be making an appearance. So it is a great time for you to get your resume checked out and get some feedback right before the career fair, which is on the 11th. During that career fair tips event on Friday, we'll also be talking about how to register for the career fair. So if you guys are trying to register for the career fair and you don't know how, make sure you come to that event on Friday, as we will go over as to how you should register to it. There's a slide dedicated on how to register it for day 1 and day 2, since the career fair will be on the 11th and the I think it's the 14th, the 15th, I think it is. So yeah, I mean, thank you guys for coming once more. And if you have any questions,